couple videos ago, I was showing you how to make compost extract with my compost brewer over there. But then it kind of came to my attention that you might not all have one of those in a shack in your backyard. So I thought I'd show you real quick another manual way of doing it. I've got a 5-gallon bucket of water, and you can see that the water is tinted just a little bit with the humic acid, so it neutralizes the chlorine in there. And I got a small tea bag with about a pound and a half of compost in. And what we can do is just do this by hand, and we can just make our tea this way and just knead that compost in there for about 4 or 5 minutes, and then maybe do this about 2 or 3 times in a 5-gallon bucket of water, just like that. The one thing that's really cool is this particular compost here was used just a few days ago in a compost extract that I made. And I put it back into the pile, and it's already got good microbes back in it again. It does not take long to get back in there again. And then after doing this about 2 or 3 times, I'll just take like a quart size jug, and we can drench our plants. We can drench a tomato plant or a pepper plant or whatever it might be with that. You know, today I wanted to talk about cover crops. And when you look across fields like these, and we see a lot of them, it's pretty quiet and pretty still. But when you step back and you look at how things were created, soil was never meant to sit bare like this. And you can see in some areas that it's trying to fill in already. It was designed to stay covered with living roots feeding the system. Bare soil is a pause button for microbes, if not a stop button. Living roots keep the system moving. Let me show you what I mean.
Ecological succession, and we're going to look at my chart here again that we talked about a couple videos ago, is the orderly process by which plant communities evolve over time. It starts with bare ground and weeds, it moves to grasses, then shrubs, and eventually forests. Crucially, the soil biology changes with the plants. You cannot have a forest-level soil system if you are treating it like a vegetable garden, and vice versa. Understanding where your land sits on the clock is the first step. The main engine of succession is the fungal to bacterial ratio. Earlier on successional plants, like row crops and weeds, thrive in bacteria-dominated soil with high nitrogen availability. As we move towards perennials, woody shrubs, and trees, the system requires more fungal dominance to cycle nutrients and build structure. When you select a cover crop, you aren't just planting green manure, you are deciding whether you want to move your soil biology toward a more fungal or bacterial state. How do we steer this? Well, if you're a rancher dealing with heavily grazed annual pastures, you're likely fighting a bacterial-dominated compacted system. You need to steer succession forward. Using deep-rooted brassicas or grasses can help break compaction, but integrating high-carbon woody species or specific legume fungal associations can help shift that FB ratio upward, signaling to the soil that it's time to move toward a more perennial state. One common mistake is the monoculture cover. Nature is never a monoculture. When you plant a 10 or 15 species cover crop mix, you are casting a wide net. You are feeding the entire microbial community, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and nematodes simultaneously. This diversity is the ultimate insurance policy. It ensures that no matter the weather, some part of your biological community is active in building structure. The biggest enemy of successional progress is the reset button. Tillage or heavy synthetic inputs, every time you turn the soil over or over-apply NPK, you effectively kick the soil clock back to zero. You're forcing the soil to restart the succession process. If you want to see results, you're going to have to create a management regime that allows the biology to move forward, not one that constantly knocks it back to the starting line. I would encourage you to go back and look at those slides and maybe pause on those slides. There's a lot of good information on those slides, and I just kind of scanned over them pretty quickly. So, I see a lot of operations trying to fix their soil health by simply switching products or changing equipment. But if you ignore the successional trajectory of your land, you are swimming upstream. By using cover crops strategically, you're doing more than just covering the dirt. You're actively programming your soil's biological community to support the plants that you want to grow. The next time you are planning your seed mix, don't just ask, well, I wonder what's going to grow. Ask, where do I want my soil's biological clock to be in 3 years? If you're unsure how to measure your current FB ratio or need help designing a successful seed mix for your specific climate, that's where the analysis comes in. ByDesignSoil.com for more information. Let's keep looking deeper. Next video, we're going to talk about soil health and plant disease. Thanks for watching, and we will see you then.